What's going on, good people, man? So close again. First of all, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Just give me a thumbs up in the comment section in the chat. Let me know if I'm good before we get started. Man, this is disappointing. Very disappointing. Now, going into the game, chances was slim. Let me know if I'm good. Let me know if the vocal is good, the video is good, and then we're gonna talk about some things. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. This hurt, man. You know what's crazy about this game, man? I thought the game plan was good. I thought running the ball as much as we ran the ball was good. I thought we had a chance at the end of the game. Another fourth quarter lead, even though this time it was a 1 point lead. You still went down there, scored a touchdown. You went up by one, and you gave the defense something to fight for. And I can't say. Actually, I can't say that the defense let us down in the fourth quarter. You needed the closers. Where are the closers at in this position at this point in the game? Where are your closers at, man? They go down the field. Christian Watson has a fantastic catch over Cordell Flott. It is what it is. And then they get the 2 point conversion, and it's 27-20. So I want to start with the good first. I do want to start with the good first. Shout out to Bush Kid with the $4.99 super chat. He says, "Is it wrong that I'm glad we lost so Joe can be fired?" It's not. It's not. I'll tell you this too, though. Man. Jaylen Hyatt on that last interception from Jameis Winston, he sold, man. He didn't run his route. He sold, and the interception is right there. You saw Jameis Winston's face. Like, what are you doing? The funny thing is, if who knows if Hyatt completes that route, if he actually runs that out route, or that ball probably hits him in the face. And who knows? Maybe that might have been a touchdown. Maybe we'll be in overtime right now if Jaylen Hyatt just finished his route, but he didn't. And you got to look at Joe Shane like, there it is. That's it, man. That's it. I watched Hodgins today. I watched Hodgins come off a practice squad bench and become the wide receiver one for the New York Giants. And I kept seeing people tweeting like, we could have had Hodgins weeks ago. Some people even like me from last year saying he should have never got cut last year. I don't know, man. We got some things to talk about, though, man. That defense, though. That defense, Slam says Hyatt is a clown. That's a fact. Let me go ahead and put the comments up so you guys can see it in the corner. Hodges balled out. That's a fact. We let him go for nothing. That's a fact. We cut him last year. He sat in San Francisco for a season. This year he bounced around a little bit and was on the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad. And then he just showed up today like he's been here the whole time. No connection with Jameis Winston at all prior to this game. And how many completions did he have? What he had? 6 catches today? How many first down conversions did he have off his catches? And then that goes to show me like, okay, well, if Hodgins just was sitting out there the whole time, why didn't we go get him? And we said it last week, man. The job is not done when it comes to getting people up out of here. The job is not done. I want to talk about Kafka, though. So by show of hands, man. By show of hands, let me know if you guys approve of what Mike Kafka's debut was today. Let me know. Just a thumbs up if you approve the game plan that Mike Kafka had for this offense. Let me know, because let me tell you this, man. I was actually happy with what I saw from this offense, being down so many players. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, approve. Yeah. That was a great game plan. The stadium was windy. You couldn't do much. The stadium was windy except for on that punt by Green Bay in the final seconds of that game. Where was the win then? Where was the win, that MetLife win, when he kicked that punt, man? I wish he would listen, but it is what it is. It is what it is. He was good. 1980, you give him a thumbs down. Let me know why you give Kafka the thumbs down. I'm curious to see why, because everybody else is giving him a thumbs up. I want to know why you giving him a thumbs down. I think the game plan was perfect for what he had. He couldn't really throw the ball deep because it was too windy. The times that you did throw the ball, you target, Winston target the middle of the field. We were able to move the ball, but the running game was fantastic. The offensive line was fantastic. This is the Green Bay Packers. We just went up against a top 5 defense. We went against a top 5 defense and ran the ball down their throats for 4 quarters. Whether it was a 4-yard pickup, a 3-yard pickup, a 15-yard pickup, we ran the running back screens a few times. Was successful today. I think there was, even though this was a loss, again, how many people last night, even in the live last night, a lot of people didn't have us winning this game. But for these guys to turn around and perform the way that they did today, actually, I'm happy with the performance for the offense. Now, let's talk about this defense, though. Let's talk about, you got another guy saying thumbs down for Mike Kafka. JBJ25 is thumb down. So I don't know what Kafka could have, what else could Kafka could have done? What other plays could he have called? He went for it on 4th down when he needed to go for it on 4th down. I'm seeing my Cash Out James says can't blame Dable now. Can't blame Dable for what? That defense? He the one that kept on. Guess what? If Brian Dable, even though Brian Dable's gone now, had he fired Shane Bowen a couple weeks ago, we wouldn't have to worry about Shane Bowen and his defense, failing us again in the 4th quarter. If I would have told you guys in the 4th quarter with 6 minutes left, the New York Giants would go up by 1 point, you guys would probably take it. I'm going to say this, and listen, I'm not, me saying that Mike Kafka did a good job today as far as his game plan, especially on the offensive side, is not me saying that I want Mike Kafka to coach for the New York Giants in 2026. No, I'm just giving credit where credit was due. I think he did a good job. See, I knew somebody was going to think that. Shout out to New York State of Mind. I still want a different coach. Me too. I'm giving a man credit for what he did today, though. For you get a head coach fired. You're trying to implement implement your new scheme. You change around practice a little bit. You went ahead and made the move to go get Isaiah Hodgins, and that proved dividends today already. You already got your money back on Isaiah Hodgins just off of 1 game. Jessica says lost by 7, pinned down in my chair all game. That's another thing too, man. Gave me something to cheer for 4 quarters. I'll say that too. Shout out to my man Thunder. Thunder says, Dash, we are close. We need middle linebacker in depth, and the secondary should be upgraded again. Listen, man, obviously Adebo, Paulson Adebo was supposed to play today. After warm-ups, he had some soreness in his knee. They decided to keep him out of the game. So Adebo goes down. You see Tay Banks. It's the same thing over and over again when you think about it, right? When you think about the good and the bad of the New York Giants, all of the good seem to be on the offensive side, and then all of the bad is on the defense. Again, Banks were open again today. You saw Banks. Cordell Flott had an up and down game. I think he made more plays than he didn't, but at the end of the game, when you need to make a play, Christian Watson just mossed him, man. He just got mossed by Christian Watson. I did see a lot of zone defense, which I think they were going to do. I thought the win was going to help us, man, but they ended up taking those shots late. And again, the better team won today. But I'll tell you this, I looked at that Packers defense. They couldn't do nothing with this offense. And we were down players, a lot of players. And then at the end of the game, we didn't even get a chance to attempt a Hail Mary. But again, I think that, what was it, D? It was a couple times that we went down to get points, man. It just is what it is. Bush Kid, $1.99 Super Chat says, I approve Mike's coaching. I do too, man. I think he did a good job. For what he had, I think he did a good job. Still got issues on defense, though. Mr. Yellow Hat says it looked the same. Nothing has changed. We lost, so that looked the same for sure. Defense giving it up in the secondary polls, that looked the same for sure. But the offense, the blocking scheme was different, and that's just getting into the X's and O's. The blocking scheme was different today, and you saw it with the run game. We don't run the ball 45, 50 times a game. Well, I think we ran the ball at least 40 times today. That's not the same. That's not the same for sure. You could say because of the win, but no. The offense actually, I think I said the offense played better. The offensive line deserves a game ball if they gave out game balls to losers, but they don't. But I can't. I'm not mad at the offense. I'm absolutely still mad at the defense. The defense was horrible again. My man Rick Torcher in the building says defense is suspect still. Kafka did wonderful. I'm not going to say wonderful. Better execution. I think he called a good game though. That first drive, those scripted plays, that was fantastic. You can't get any better than that. But we've been doing that all season long with the first drive for the most part, getting down there and getting points. McKenna says, I want Tomlin. We're gonna get somebody new, man. It's gonna happen, man. 15 was it 15 Mo Tolson says the DC needs to go. It's crazy we can't get to the quarterback. It's crazy to me. I thought we had a good chance of getting Jordan Love because he doesn't like to run the ball. We actually knocked him out of the game for a brief moment, and then as soon as Malik Willis got in the game, I'm like, and this is in the private chat. I'm sitting here like, oh man, Willis can use his legs, and I don't like that extra ability because Jordan Love doesn't like to run, and we saw that today. When he runs, he gets punished. He doesn't like to run. I think we had better chance against Jordan Love, but at the end of the game, what happened? He takes the deep shots again. What happened to the wind then? That wind was so crazy all game until the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, there's no wind on that side of the ends of the field because we saw kicks get blown out of the way, punts getting blown all over the place. Pause, and then all of a sudden, yeah, it is what it is. Slam just. You said he's still a rookie. Who you talking about? Somebody's still a rookie. Justice says a good job. Yeah, man. Look, again, we lost at the end of the day, so I'm just trying to find that silver lining. Luann says, I'm happy with Hodges. Cash Out James says, 97 finally showed up, still lost, though. Yeah, he got some pressure today. Yeah, Dexter Lawrence did get some pressure today. You saw it. I like when he was playing over the nose. We still saw him play a little bit of three technique in spots, especially when they brought Darius Alexander in. I'm upset about the loss, but I'm not as mad as I should be, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you guys let me know if you feel the same way. Like, I'm mad because we lost. I'm mad because the defense still looks the same. But I'm not upset because I didn't like our chances going into this game. Now, once we went up, that's different. Will Collectors Lounge with the $4.99 super chat says, I thought it was a good fight till the end. Yeah. I mean, and let's be honest too, though. Jameis Winston probably should have threw about 4 interceptions today. Like, how many interceptions did they drop? Like, in all line, like Jameis Winston got lucky today until the end. And then you can't even blame him for the last interception. Like, all those interceptions that the Green Bay Packers dropped, like, it was a lot. But the one interception at the end that they actually held on to, I can't even really blame Jameis Winston for that because your wide receiver quit on the route. How do you quit on a route in that situation? How do you quit on a route? You're moving in for the touchdown. You're trying to win a game. How do you stop running your route there, man? That's crazy. And a lot of people are calling for Hyatt just to be flat out cut right now. And I'm not going to argue against that because you can't stop on your route, man. How many times have we seen this? It happened early in the year with Jackson Dart when Bo Collins stopped running his route. And then now we got Jaylen Hyatt to, stop running his route. And then, look, interception. Shout out to is it Jerome? Yeah, Jerome Nesbitt. Shout out to Jerome Nesbitt with $1.99 super chat. He says, why is Hyatt on this team? He shouldn't be on the team anymore. You can't do what he did today. That's unexcusable. We talked a bit about him being cut because he can't even get on the field. Today they actually used him. He actually got a couple catches. But in the most important time, he sold. And it cost us, I can't say it cost us a game, but it cost us a chance of winning the game. Because even if you score there, you still got to kick the field goal the extra point to tie the game. Maybe you go for 2. But you definitely left points on the board by not running, completing your route. And it's crazy to me. Shout out to my man Phil says the silver lining is that we're hanging with teams. That's true. And should be beating them with scrubs and practice players. Now that's a fact. You get Scatterable back, you get Neighbors back, you get Jackson Dart back. That's a winnable game. I hate that I got to keep on saying that though, because it's all about ifs. But to your point, we are sticking with these teams. That this is a contender in the NFC North. Possible wild card team. And we're sitting here fighting tooth and nail with the guys that we have on this roster. Again, but the defense, man, how come like this should have been like a 6-sack game for this defense? Like, for real, like, send more pressure. And then stick with Dexter Lawrence over the nose, and maybe you saw it early in the game. Maybe it happens, but you got to stay consistent. Shane Bowen, man, and I knew it when I tweeted it, man. Right when we scored and took the 20-19 lead, right? I said, okay, and I tweeted this. Probably jinxed us, man. I probably jinxed us. I apologize. But I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, defense. The offense just gave you the lead in the fourth quarter again. Let's close this thing out. And as soon as before I pressed send, I said I shouldn't even send this out. But I said, you know what? Nah, man. Might as well do it. Ain't nothing to lose. I hit the send button, right? And it's not like it's all on me. It's not. I don't believe in hoodoo like that. But I just said did it again, and then all of a sudden, Green Bay goes down the field like it's nothing. Left a whole bunch of time on the clock too, but went right down the field like it was nothing. Watson catches the ball over Flott and Dane Belton, and then the game is over. Well, ultimately over after that. Shout out to Joseph Wilcox with the $5 super chat. Says on draft day, some Cowboy scouts said Hyatt was not a good route runner. Hello, bye Hyatt. I don't need you can't even blame it on the route running. He just didn't run the route. He stopped running. He gave up on the route. There's no technique to giving up. He gave up and he sold, man. And that's the part that pisses me off. You can't even afford to do stuff like that if you're Jaylen Hyatt. Everybody already feels how they feel about you, Jaylen Hyatt, and you sold on the route like that. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Like all the chances, like for all these wide receivers on the roster, Neighbors being down, Darius Slayton not being able to go today. These are chances for guys to step up, and we saw a guy step up today. You saw Hodgins, who he wasn't even part of the 53 until Tuesday or Wednesday. How many days has he even been here? 3 days? 3 days of practice? And he's out here making plays the way that he's making plays. And I know somebody was joking with me last night talking about Hodges sucks. And again, Hodges is not one of those names that you say, oh yeah, I got to have Hodges on this team. But for the New York Giants, he seems to make plays for us. And that's what you want. And he made plays for us today, man. But unfortunately, we still lose. Shout out to RHD Take It with the $4.99 super chat. Says, why does the D-line all rush the same? No moves, no wiggle. Is it time to talk about Abdul Carter as a bust? We could talk about it right now. We could talk about it right now. If y'all want to have this conversation, we can have this conversation right now. I expected a lot more from Abdul Carter. I understand that he has amazing numbers when it comes to pressures. I understand that, but when are we going to get these sacks? When are we going to get them? Pause. Like when do the pressures turn into sacks? When does that happen? You see it today, man. A lot of these guys, they got one move, and if that move doesn't work, it's pretty much over. It's pretty much over. But Abdul Carter, man, like I said, a lot of people throw those numbers out, but no, where is that production? This is a guy that had the nerve to ask or request to wear the number 56. This man requested to wear the number 56. Could you imagine if Lawrence Taylor said, yes, you can wear 56? Nah, man. Sometimes, and I do see what you say, Jay Beach Boy. He says we need better coaching. Absolutely, 100%. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm saying in these one-on-one situations, when it comes down to player execution, I need to see more from Abdul Carter. The way that a lot of people talked about him, the way that we talked about him. You know what I mean? I had people comparing him to Parsons. He's just another Parsons. And I'm like, well, you're not watching Penn State if you're comparing him to Parsons. Really, he's not another Parsons. Shout out to Joe Schmo84. Shout out to you on Twitter too, man. With the $4.99 super chat says Carter is the Temu Parsons. You right on time, Joe Schmo, because that's what we just was talking about. You right on time. Carter is the Temu Parsons. Shaking my head. Anyone seen Tibbs? Yeah, Tibbs is hurt. He was hurt today. Didn't even play. But this is the reason why because a lot of people wanted to trade Kayvon Thibodeau as soon as we drafted Abdul Carter during the draft, and this is why you don't, because Not everybody pans out to be who they're supposed to be. Even Tibbs didn't turn into who we thought he was going to be. Tibbs had almost the same type of hype coming out of college as Abdul Carter did, and you saw what happened with Tibbs. It took Tibbs for 4 years really to start playing as good as he's playing right now. I don't know if we got to wait another 4 years for Abdul Carter. I would not. I don't want to, but come on, man. I expected more impact by now. We're already, we're already 11 weeks in. I need more. I need more than that. Slam said, "Preach." Yeah, we know Tibbs was hurt. That's a fact. He didn't play today, and we didn't even see Abdul Carter on the first defensive series. And I saw the beat writers, because I'm asking questions like, where the hell is Abdul Carter at? I'm seeing Timon Fox out there. Then the rumor mills start going on in the DM. They talking about maybe he skipped a meeting or missed a meeting, and maybe they're just punishing him for quarters. And then we saw him on the next defensive series. But again, we didn't see much today from these guys. Brian Burns, listen, Brian Burns is Brian Burns. Shout out to Brian Burns. We need some middle linebacker help for sure. Dame Belton stepping in for Tyler Newman today with Holland. Belton is Belton. Belton is Belton, man. He is a good backup safety, not a guy that you want starting. That's the story of Belton, and he's in a contract year. We got to do something. Mark Thompson, shout out to my man Mark Thompson. He says Carter has a strength issue 100%. 100%. He does need to get stronger. I still want to know what his 40 time is, because I remember watching him at Penn State and him being able to bend the corner or bend the edge and get to the quarterback. I think he falls into that category of, more quicker than fast. But I'm curious to see what his 40 time is, because sideline to sideline, I'm not seeing it right now. And to your point, Mark, absolutely, I do believe he needs to get stronger. That's something that he can do, in the offseason, and how he prepares next year is something that we need to pay attention to, because he can't look like this next year. Not in my opinion. A Footlong says Carter is a rookie. Pick 3, yes, but still a rookie. I don't want to hear that, man. I don't want to hear that. Not that we ain't gonna do that after a loss. That's a statement. That's a statement that I can digest on like a Tuesday, not right after a game. 11 weeks into the season, you're no longer a rookie, in my opinion. You're no longer a rookie, and then you start to separate yourself from the class. Like, we don't say when it was Cam Scatterbull doing what he was doing, we didn't say on the bad plays that he was just a rookie. Like, no. When you saw Aiden Hutchinson as a rookie, nobody, sometimes guys have it and sometimes guys don't. Not saying that the jury is out on Abdul Carter. I'm just saying from what I expected to what I'm seeing so far this season, I'm not getting my money's worth. Put it that way. I'll leave it at that. If you agree, cool. If you don't, it is what it is. Footlong, I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about just the conversations that I've been having, and outside of that. But yeah, we're 11 weeks in. I'm not playing that rookie. He's still a rookie stuff, because if he was, like, again, he is a rookie. If you look at his pressures are through the roof. He getting all the pressures in the world, and we don't say a rookie when it's the good stuff. It's only when he's not performing up to snuff that we say, he's still a rookie. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Wesley No Snipes. I like that name. I really do like that name. He says, hold up on the Abdul Carter banter. Look at who the DC is. We're screaming for the DC to be fired because his defense as a whole cannot produce other than Burns. We have an all-pro in Lawrence. Again, you're not going to get any argument from me when it comes to Shane Bowen being horrible. Shane Bowen is absolutely horrible. Now, what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Abdul Carter is I'm talking about the one-on-one. I'm not talking about when he's getting dropped in the coverage. I'm not talking about when he's lining up as a middle linebacker over the A-gap trying to be fancy with the blitz. I'm talking about what we drafted him for, and that's coming off of the edge. And if he can't get home coming off of the edge, that's what I'm talking about. That's not a DC thing. That's an Abdul Carter thing. Now, and again, but let me go back. The DC is absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And this was one of those games where I expected to see more from Abdul Carter because Kayvon Thibodeau was out. Ismail says, Big Dash, I believe Shane Bowen needs to go. Absolutely. Bro, this Monday, like Brian Dable got fired last Monday, ASAP. That's a fact. Like I think and we talked about it last night in the late night Giants talk, man, when it came to Mike Kafka having actually the authority to fire Shane Bowen. And I think with the massive change that happened last week with the Dable getting fired, they probably didn't want to make both of those moves in the same week. Now here we are, same issues with the defense. I'll be surprised if they allow it to go again, because it's a similar situation with all these losses. Late fourth quarter lead, and again, even though it was a 1 point lead in the fourth quarter, unlike other games, it's still a lead in the fourth quarter. All you need is one defensive stop. All you need is one defensive stop. And we did get some defensive stops in this game. But when you needed it the most, and Mike Kafka said he already talked to Shane Bowen about this specific situation, where in the fourth quarter, you got to lock things up. And in this fourth quarter, you did not lock things up. So they have every right. They have every right to fire Shane Bowen right now. You didn't do the job that we tasked you to do for the fifth time this season. And that's the part that upsets me the most, because the offense did what they were supposed to do. They took the lead. It was 20-19. All you needed was one stop. One stop, you probably run that clock out, because the Giants, they could not stop us from running the ball at all. We could have just ran that clock out if you just got one more stop. One more stop. And nobody's going to change my mind about that. They couldn't do anything with us trying to stop us from running the ball. Now, let me ask you guys a different question, because obviously the New York Giants will be looking for a new head coach. And one of the targets, one of the hot names that everybody has been talking about is the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. We got a front row seat to that defense and the way that he calls his defense today. How do you guys feel about that Green Bay defense against us today? Because if you ask me, we did whatever we wanted to do against that defense for like 4 quarters until we needed it at the end, right? I mean, it is what it is. I'm upset about that though. Okay, Mr. Yellow Hat with the $5 super chat says, if we're going to talk about Abdul, we got to talk about the sacks taken off by penalties. It was 2 of them. 2 or 3, right? 2 or 3 sacks taken off by penalty. That's it. 2 or 3. None of those were in this game, though. None of those were in this game. We can say the same thing about Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence has 2 sacks this year taken off the board for penalties. You know, I mean, we can show people grace when we feel like showing them grace. Let me ask you this, Mr. Yellowhead. How did you feel about Abdul Carter before we drafted him? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I would say that a lot of people feel a certain way because of how they feel about that player as an individual. Whether you have predetermined ideas of what this person is going to be versus what you see him doing right now. So I don't mind people defending Abdul Carter at all, man. That's your opinion. Shout out to you. James Word that says whole team. TD Midas says trade our first pick with the Jets for their 2 first round. What? Draft a DB, a linebacker, and a wide receiver. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The Jets did not get all those picks for them to just give them away. They need a quarterback. They're going to get a quarterback. That's what the Jets are going to do. It's going to be hard to try to get those picks away from the Jets, and also depending on where they end up. So, but if you might be right actually, because if we're picking right now, they're picking before us. So if I'm not mistaken, Boat Josh says Carter needs some coaching. That too. I think Mark Thompson nailed it when he said he just needs to get stronger. I think that's what it is too. He's dealing with when you look at Abdul Carter again. When you look at Abdul Carter, you don't see the build of Micah Parsons. I don't see it yet. He's still a little slim. I think he just needs to get stronger, work on his moves, do a little bit better hand fighting. We still have to remember too. And again, here comes the rookie excuse. Here comes a rookie excuse. He's only been an edge rusher for a year and a half. He was an off-ball linebacker until that last season with Penn State. He's still working on his craft. He's still working off a natural ability. He hasn't even got a chance to throw a repertoire together yet. So I believe that this offseason, last year people were training for the combine and all that. This year it's about him getting into the weight room, getting stronger, maybe putting on another 5 pounds or something like that, but also the hand fighting and working on his secondary moves. That's it. And then next year, maybe we see the guy that we thought we were going to see. But I do believe, like, it's not all his fault. Absolutely not. Wesley No Snipes says the DC is a problem. Carter play is a reflection of the failed scheme Bowen is preaching. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that. I still think he needs to get stronger though and work on the secondary move. Two things can be true. Beach Boy 100 says Arvell Reese is as linebacker. Who do you draft? Would you draft him high? The funny thing now about Arvell Reese, we know him as an off-ball linebacker. You're seeing everybody now projecting him to be an edge rusher. I'm curious, and so he might even go higher than that. So with him being considered right now, again, we've heard the rumors about it. I think Todd McShay is talking about it. They're considering him an edge rusher. I don't think the New York Giants make that move if they consider him an edge rusher and not an off-ball linebacker. And then you still have the crowd of people that say you don't draft an off-ball linebacker, third overall, which similar thing with Abdul Carter last year, where they moved him to an edge. But Arvell Reese has even less experience coming off the edge as Abdul Carter. But we'll see what happens. People like his measurables. He's 6'4", 240 something pounds, quick. They see edge rusher. I think it's the height that makes him an edge rusher too. Sincerely yours says Debo don't ring bells in no games like that. Okay, yeah. I still wish he would have played today. I think if you have a Debo out there, some of those plays that Deonte Banks gave up, you don't give up, especially that one in the end zone. Well, Watson had 2 touchdowns today. And I believe, what is his 4th game back? He had 2 touchdowns today. We gave him his first and his second touchdown of the season. And one was on Banks, one was on Flott. And again, if you're going to play zone coverage like you did, or either have safety over the top help, Belton got to be in better position than that too. He was trailing like crazy. OP, is it OPBO or OPBO 2 gamers, right? Hopefully I got that right. He says Carter be looking like he don't want to play. Nah, man, it ain't that serious. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. But there is some effort, and I pointed it out myself. There is some times where you see him give up plays when he thinks he's out of the play, and he he mails it in a little bit again. But again, that'll be one of those excuses where you say he's a rookie. Got to play better though. Got to play better. Slam says preach dash. He's a rookie, but won't run nobody down. Listen, I don't think he's as fast as people said he or thought he was. Like, in all honesty, I don't see the foot speed. I've seen Patrick Mahomes run away from him. I've seen Spencer Rattler run away from him. I've seen who else? I saw freaking Justin Herbert run away from him. I'm seeing a lot of people run away from him. He's quick, no doubt he's quick, but he's not as fast as I thought he was. At least maybe that's just me. Maybe I just expected more. I thought he was faster. Luann says I think Kafka is okay. I think Kafka did a good job today. I like the way he called the offense. I did. Simeon, what's going on, Simeon? He says you cannot trust Hyatt to play the position correctly. Yeah, he proved it again today. He proved it again today that he does not deserve to be on that field. I think I can finally really hang up and give up on this push for Jaylen Hyatt. He let me down today, man. On that one play, it was crazy to me. All you had to do was complete your route. Most likely that ball hits you in the face. Because just when they showed the end zone view of that play, you see Jameis Winston, he throws that ball. You see exactly where Hyatt stops running, and you see where the ball goes. If Hyatt just finishes the route, that ball is probably hitting him in the face, man. And that's the part that got me the most mad about it, because you can't do that. Well, you can't do that at all, but you definitely can't do that at that point in the game. Now, I'll say this, and this is not an excuse. This is not an excuse, but this is a condition that I think Jaylen Hyatt has. Because he has not played, because he has not been getting targeted, He's this. We only know when he quits on a route when he's targeted. So how many times has he stopped running his route and we didn't see it because the ball wasn't he wasn't targeted? This could be something that he's been doing, and we don't even know about it, but we saw it today because of how he's been used. But I know this, man. These other guys that get the ball a lot, they don't give up on their routes. You see Wan'Dale Robinson all the time. He don't give up on his routes. You saw Isaiah Hodgins today. He didn't give up on the routes. They like certain guys they either have it or they don't have it. And sometimes things are beat out of you. And I think with Jaylen Hyatt, he just might be damaged goods. Shout out to Goods. Speaking of Goods, Jay Mills is whooping Goods right now. That's battle rap talk though, so we're gonna sideline that for a moment. And Goods is one of my favorite rappers too. Well, favorite battle rappers. Footlong $5 super chat says, I hate to say it, but no need for wins. We're at pick 2. We can get a haul for pick 2 and Dex fire Shane Bowen and Kafka just start over. Here's the thing, man. What do you need to give Dex up for? You can already get the haul with having pick 2, just like you said. If we had a better DC, are we really trying to give up Dex? No. I mean, I understand that you can probably get a lot for him. I understand because his play is down this year. It's easier to part with Dexter Lawrence, but that's still Dexter Lawrence at the end of the day. That's still Dexter Lawrence at the end of the day. And the bad thing about it is you give him up, he goes somewhere, he's an all-pro, no matter where he goes. He's an all-pro with the New York Giants. You put him anywhere else, he's going to be an all-pro. Our issue is more about who's coaching these guys and the schemes and the defensive alignments. But I would definitely trade out of pick 2 though. If we got the second pick overall, you're probably going to get a haul for it because that's right in the area where you have Fernando Mendoza, who's probably going to be the quarterback one taken this year, and you could probably get picks you can definitely get the picks that you lost last year for trading up to get Jackson Dart, but you can probably also get a 1 in next year's draft too, and 2027 draft too. So I'm definitely trading out of the pick if we do end up, with that number 2 pick overall. Definitely trading back. You're going to get a lot of picks. Master G87 says, when is OBJ suspension over? We could use him to supplant Hyatt, Collins, or Robinson. Again, I like what Robinson is doing. Robinson is limited though. We saw that today. If he was a bigger body wide receiver, that one pass that got deflected, I believe it was on the 3rd down. He's just not a big enough guy. That cornerback is bigger than him. He was able to get his hand around him and deflect the ball on the 3rd down. If Hyatt was 5'11" instead of being 5'8", he probably has enough body to shield off that cornerback in that play. He's just limited, man. You can't have him do things that big body wide receivers do. You can't expect him to do that. He's not that type of player. He is what he is. He's a gadget guy. He's a gadget receiver. But you want to send him out there in the end zone, one-on-one coverage, and try to throw a 50-50 ball at him. He's not going to get that. He just does not have the build for that. But I will say this, as far as Robinson goes, I think he still has a role even next year with this team. You just got to put him a little bit lower on the depth chart. You can't do anything with Darius Slayton. If you do try to bring back Wan'Dale Robinson, it's going to cost you some money. So this might be like the final year last couple of games that we see Robinson, if we can't justify paying him, if we're already paying Slayton. And again, you can't trade Slayton because you don't save any money. You can't cut him. Well, you can trade him. Obviously, you can trade him. But you can't cut him. You can't waive him because you don't save any money if you do. It's a lot of dead cap with Slayton. Paul, that's a fact. Bowen is the worst. Bowen is absolutely the worst. The worst. Simeon says we need fumbles, picks, big hits. We don't get none of that. We don't get none of that. We saw a nice hit from Flanagan Fowles on Jordan Love today, but outside of that, we're catching players, man. Especially the secondary, they're catching guys instead of punishing them. What's it? Kenya with the $5 super chat says, "Sup, Dash? The season been over for me." That's a fact. It's been over. I just wanted Dart to get some experience for next year, but everyone needs to go except Carmen Brasillo. Thank you for bringing me back on track, man. Because I talked about it for a split second and then I got away from it. Um, even if you say you didn't like what Mike Kafka did, obviously nobody likes what Shane Bowen did, but the performance of this offensive line was phenomenal for me. Jameis Winston, for the most part, had a clean pocket, didn't deal with too much pressure, and then we were able to run the ball today. To your point, Kenya, Carmen, whoever we coach, whoever we bring in next year, I don't know, whoever it is, from the McCarthys to the Halfleys, please, please, please consider keeping Carmen Brasillo. Please do. Please do. If you want to talk about the individual performances from this offensive line, still got issues at guard. John Runyon struggling. Van Roten, he's 37 years old, on his way out. He probably retires after this year. You definitely got there's still going to be some holes on this offensive line, but as a whole, as a unit right now, I am very, very proud of this offensive line. Best offensive line we've had in over a decade. No doubt in my mind. And I can thank Carmen Brasillo for that. I was giving Jackson Dart credit because of his ability to extend plays with his legs and help, the offensive line look better. But Jameis Winston is not doing that. He's not extending plays. He's not. But you saw him have a clean pocket today, and you saw us being able to run the ball today. Kudos to this offensive line for sure. Jay Snow says, I wasn't that impressed. Okay. Simeon says, I wasn't impressed. Was it clean house, get rid of all the coaches except for Carmen Brasillo? So I am going to go all the way to the bottom of the chat. That way I can keep up because I'm already like 15, 20 minutes behind. So if I do skip over your comment, just please go ahead and put it in the comment section again. Jay Beach Boy says, would you draft a safety or cornerback high? There's only one safety that I would draft that high, and that's Caleb Downs. Because when you look at what we have right now, Tyler Nubin, Belton's probably going to be gone, probably not getting a new contract. You just have Holland back there. Caleb Downs is a safety that I would take high. As far as cornerbacks go, I don't know if there's a cornerback that I would take in the first. You got McCoy there, but McCoy didn't play this year, coming back off an injury. You have Colton Hood, too, also from Tennessee, who's good, probably going to go in the first round. It just depends on what else is on the board at that time. Luann says, I don't blame the players for giving up. I do. I absolutely do. Because at the end of the day, this ain't Pop Warner. This ain't high school. This ain't, college players get paid now too. But at the end of the day, you do your job because you got paid to do a job. You put the effort on there because guess what? You get graded on that too. So anybody that looked like they were slacking, players that look like they were slacking, it shows up on the film when in front of everybody when everybody's watching. And when you get called out on it, it is what it is. But in this game, there was no reason for players to quit in this game or give up in this game. You were in this game until the end, until the very end. So there's no excuse for giving up in this game. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Shout out to Prince Hakeem with the $1.99 super chat. No comment, just a super chat. Appreciate the love and support. Thank you very much. Lucky BX, what's going on, Lucky BX? He says, in my smoky voice, damn, the Giants never have two things that match. Offense, no defense. Defense, no offense. Offense and defense, no kicker. Damn, that's pretty good. That's a Friday reference. That is pretty good. Yeah, that's a fact. That we never have two things at the same time. That's a fact. That's hilarious too. Offense, no defense. Well, never any defense. Actually, I'm lying because that what game was that? That Chiefs game, we had defense, no offense. But yeah, now you're absolutely right. We don't never have it at the same time. And we never finish. That's a fact. Prince Hakeem, $99 super chat says, we don't have any dogs on defense. So that's what you meant to say. Outside of Brian Burns, I think you're absolutely right. There's nobody's being held accountable. And again, we're not saying that these guys don't have any fight in them. There's plenty of fight in these players. There's plenty of go get it, but they don't have that deep down dog in them. I don't see it. Like I said, outside of Brian Burns, you see a little bit of that in Cordell Flott. Surprisingly, Cordell Cordell Flott fights. He gives that extra. Sometimes his extra just ain't good enough, but he gives you that extra. But you don't see that same kind of effort from like a Tay Banks. You don't see that same kind of effort even from Tibbs or Bobby Okereke. And Bobby Okereke had a couple of good snaps today. He had a nice stop in the red zone. He was able to keep the guy out of the end zone, but you don't see it consistently. And there's no meanness. I think that's what I'm looking for. When you say dog, there's no, like, there's some tough players, but there's nobody that's mean. Like Dexter Lawrence is a good player, tough player, but he's not mean. Brian Burns, I can say that he's mean, but he's entertaining. But you know who's mean? Andrew Phillips is mean. But Andrew Phillips got issues, covering down the field. So you're right. We don't have those dogs. Not enough. One dog ain't enough. Shout out to my man Phil with the $5 super chat. He says, we need to trade back and stay in the top 5 or 6 and draft a Tyson to pair up with Neighbors, Scat, Dart, and the rest of the offense. Tyson is high on my list. I'm going to tell you this right now, though, Phil. Carnell Tate, man. Tate is sneaking up. He might be my wide receiver 1. He just might be my wide receiver 1. Jordan Tyson is nice still. I wouldn't mind either one of those guys. I even like Mekhi Lemon too. I think in either one of those guys, you pair him up with Jackson Dart and then also Malik Neighbors. Now, each one of those guys gives you a little bit something different. Like Jordan Tyson is just a spectacular player. Carnell Tate gives you that extra height as a bigger target. Still fast, still can run all the routes. And Mekhi Lemon is just an all around dog in my opinion. Now he's a dog. He gives me Malik Neighbor type vibes, but not as explosive as a Malik Neighbors. But he's not too far off when it comes to these wide receivers. But I do believe that's my target for the first round anyway, wide receiver, if we can get one of those 3 guys. Absolutely. Jay Snow says it's the same script every week. It seems like it, man. Same movie. We watched the same movie today. It ended the same, but you know what? What did they call the part of the movie? The climax, I guess you could call it the climax of the movie. It was a little bit different today. It was a little bit different today, but the ending was still the same. New York Giants lose. The other team wins at home. Good performance from the offense. Score 20 points again. Like, if you would have told me the New York Giants would be averaging 24 points a game, I would say, you know what? I think we won about 6 or 7 games already. Nope. RTJ RT Jr. 925 says Kafka and Wink. That's not going to happen. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Not at all. RTJ Jr. also says I want picks and a player. Yeah. It just depends. It depends on who the team is. It also depends what draft capital they give up if you're also going to get a player. Beach Boy says we have the third. Oh, it's still the third pick. I haven't checked yet. I took somebody's word for it when they said we got the second pick overall. I thought it might have updated already. Maybe it didn't. Real Prince Castro, what's going on? He says, how many top prospect quarterbacks are out there? How many teams need a quarterback? My first official draft question of the year. Right now, you're looking at Dante Moore. You're looking at Fernando Mendoza. So I would say 2 right now as far as top QBs. And then when you look at who's picking, obviously Tennessee Titans are right at 1 right now. They got their quarterback in Cam Ward. But the Jets need one. Who else needs a quarterback? You can say possibly the Saints need one. I'm trying to look at the top of the draft now off my head, man. You know what? When I'm gonna do a draft show, I'll do a draft show one of these weeks. We can take a deep dive into stuff like that for sure. Patrick Grove says I do feel bad for Kafka. The only reason why I would feel bad for Kafka is he didn't get the dub. And then maybe he didn't have the power last week to fire Shane Bowen. That's the only way why I feel bad. I would love to be a fly on the wall, or just to be in Mike Kafka's head as if he wanted to keep Shane Bowen or he wanted to get rid of him. That's my first question. And if he wanted to get rid of Shane Bowen and this still happened, then I absolutely feel bad for him. I think Mike Kafka did everything he could do for this team. Jameis Winston is starting. Let's remember, our number one target today was a wide receiver that was on the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad a week ago. And you still put up 20 points. So I think Kafka did and his offense did everything that they could do outside of the miscues. And again, Jameis Winston had 3 interceptions dropped before that last one. So, some things went the Giants' way today. They did. Revenge is strife. Oh, sorry, revenge. Yeah, revenge is strife. Strife. Okay, revenge. I said it at the beginning. He gave up on the play. He disappointed me today. I'm over the whole Jaylen Hyatt thing. That last interception was on Jaylen Hyatt. I can't even blame Jameis Winston for it. I can't even blame him. Coach D says Wan'Dale Robinson is a 5th wide receiver. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. He's a gadget guy. Kenya said we could trade Hyatt for a pack of Skittles. I don't. Can we still get a pack of Skittles now? I don't know. I don't know. Probably might not even be able to get that now. Revenge says Joe Shane got issues holding on to trash players. That's a fact. He still they still holding on to Evan Neal, and they just put him on IR again. I think they actually. Let me ask you guys this: what's the chances? What's the chances that Jaylen Hyatt gets waived tomorrow? They like the way Hodgins looked today. What's the chances that they actually get rid of Hyatt? I still don't think they do it, just because of all the injuries. I still don't think they do it. You didn't see Ray McLeod today, right? Nope. Derek Jones says Tracy is a good back. Tracy did good today. A man, the Q Borough diplomat said JMS was good. He did play good today. Tracy and JMS had good games today, for sure. Devin Singletary did good today. Who would have thought Devin Singletary with a 2-touchdown game? No, he didn't have 2 touchdowns. It was him. It was James. Yeah, it wasn't 2 touchdowns. Where am I bugging? We missed the extra point. Yeah, so Devin Singletary did have 2 touchdowns, and Jameis Winston had 1. So yeah, I'm happy with how the offense played today. I am. Luann says we need Dart. Absolutely. Derek Jones, that's a great point. Fantastic point made there. Tracy always needed more plays this year. I think so. He's a volume guy. The more touches he gets, the better. The more production you get from a guy like Tracy. The problem is when you have somebody like Cam Scatterable, who is highly productive every time he gets the ball. It's hard to try to share those snaps when you're actually being a true running back by committee. Now, the way that Kafka coaches, it might have been different. Well, we might not ever know because we're not going to see Kafka with Cam Scatterable as far as him being a head coach or an interim, and we might not ever see that. Most likely won't see that. Let me tell you, Big Brother Thunder is crazy with the triple X's. That's crazy. That's crazy. Salute to you though. He said, I like to see Dart with the wink defense backing him up. I would love to see it too. That aggressiveness, I would love to see that. I think that's what this team is looking for. Shane Bowen just ain't got it in him. He can't do it. He refuses to do it. Even with his job on the line, he refuses to be aggressive when he needs to be aggressive. No, there's no reason why Jordan Love should have had all that time to make that last pass. No reason. No reason. Q Burrow, you're talking about Tate. That's a fact. Shout out to my man Coach Ed in the building. If you are not subscribed to my man Coach Ed, please make sure you go ahead and do that. Fantastic sports content creator there. He says this team coached like they weren't walking on eggshells. Continued indictment on the former head coach. True. Especially on, like I said, the offense. Coach, I got a question for you, Coach, if you're still listening. like I said, I was happy with the performance of the offense today. I think, like I said, I think this defense absolutely looked the same. The offense did not, in my opinion. Even the blocking schemes, even the way that we block things up front, I believe was different from what we've seen in the past. It's just that this defense is what it is. You got to make another move. You got to make another move and get rid of Shane Bowen. It has to happen. I don't care how it looks. I don't care about the optics. You already fired. Brian Dable. As a New York Giants organization, you can't worry about firing or how it looks to fire Shane Bowen when Shane Bowen should have went before Brian Dable should have went. Nobody's going to be upset with you firing Shane Bowen now. Like, let's not worry about the optics. Let's not do that. Storm says receiver room in 2026: Neighbors, Hodgins, Slayton, Jordan, Tyson, wide receiver. Listen, I would love a room like that. I would love a room. Yeah. A lot of people feel like Hodgins should have never got cut last year. But I digress. Stacy says final right tackle in the first round. I like Fano. I like Fano. I like Fano. I just don't think well, it depends on what happens with Illuminor too. Because you have Illuminor, you also have Marcus Bowe. And with having Illuminor and having Marcus Bowe, do you take a right tackle that early? That'll be my question. We'll find out in a couple months of, after free agency, before the draft, to see what the New York Giants might do. I think right now you should extend Jermaine Illuminor, though, for sure. Because there's no guarantee that Fano is going to be there unless you talk about taking Fano. I'm not taking Fano top 5. I'll say that, Stacey. I'm not going to take him top 5. That's not going to happen. Footlong says, Dash, our season is over once again. But what team are you liking most right now? As far as the Super Bowl goes, I think the Detroit Lions finally make it to the Super Bowl. On the other side, I think it can be. You can see the Colts there. You can see the Chiefs there. I don't think the Ravens make it, but it is what it is. You can even see the Broncos there possibly. It might be a Detroit Lions, Denver Broncos Super Bowl. That's nasty work. I don't know, but that's the teams that I'm looking at. As far as the NFC East, I think the Lions probably got the best shot of making it. I think the Lions are better than the Eagles. We'll see that game tonight. But yeah, I think the Lions right now overall favorite for me in for the NFC. Bramsey says we need a Fred Warner type linebacker behind our front four. Let me tell you this, Bramsey. A lot of people disagree with this, but obviously when we decided not to trade Kayvon Thibodeau, and then when we found out that Kayvon Thibodeau actually beat out Abdul Carter, for first team reps, I wanted to move Abdul Carter to off-ball linebacker because I felt like all those years prior to his senior year at Penn State that he could have been that Fred Warner type of off-ball linebacker. But again, he shows so much talent coming off of the edge that people don't even like to play him or think of him as being an off-ball linebacker. But I thought he could absolutely be that type. Don't know though, because we haven't seen him play traditional off-ball linebacker. We've seen him play it, but he's either lining up over the center and blitzing whenever we play him off-ball. Really, it was only that one game that we saw him actually play off-ball, and I don't believe he did that good when that happened. But I miss Micah McFadden too. Jay Beach Boy says Micah McFadden, but I believe you get him cheap now with the injuries. No special teams play. That's a fact. We don't have a block punt this year. I don't believe we have a block field goal. We don't have anything when it comes to special teams. Not really. And I think, what was it? The Chargers game, we had that big return got called back in the Chargers game. That was the biggest special teams play of the year. Outside of guys making kicks, which is their job. Joe Schmo says Dart and Hodgins going to be a hell of a combo. Got to look forward to something. I'm not going to go that far right now. I get it. Talking about this year. I think having Hodgins on the 53 now for the rest of the season, I think that is going to help out Dart, because we can't rely on Darius Slayton because he's hurt every other week. Wan'Dale Robinson is Wan'Dale Robinson. Hyatt might not even be on the team tomorrow. So for me, yeah, absolutely. I think you can build some chemistry with Hodgins. He is that possession wide receiver that we've been missing. We wanted a big body receiver since when? Since he left. And I blame us though. I blame us too because and we saw it last night, and like some of the comments that I got last night when I brought up Hodgins. It's like, oh, Hodgins is ass. If Hodgins doesn't move the needle, well, shit, he moved the needle today. Hodgins moved the needle today. A guy off the practice squad making bigger plays than the guys we have on the roster. It is what it is. Shout out to my man H-Town in the building. Says this organization will continue to be until they bring in a real leader of men, real coaching, not this lame duck stuff. Shout out to my man H-Town. We're going to keep it PG in the afternoon. Might be kids watching. Luann says Dex had a somewhat better game. He did. He got there. He was almost there a few times. I thought there was one where he got real close to Love. Love was able to just, shift to the right, and Dex ended up sliding for home plate. But it is, yeah, Dex is coming along, and that's crazy to say Dex is coming along because Dex should not just be coming along. Dex should be Dexter Lawrence, and we still have not seen that yet, but he was close today. A Footlong said, did Drew Phillips play today? Yes, he did. Yes, he did play today. He absolutely did. Q Burrows says, fly the dog. He getting better every year. He is getting better every year. As far as people from that 2020 class that most likely get a contract, I think Flott played his way into getting the contract. And the crazy thing about that is he's still not a person that you can say is irreplaceable. No, he's very, very replaceable. But for right now, for what the New York Giants need, I think Cordell Flott is a guy that you re-sign. I think Micah McFadden is a guy that you re-sign. I love Daniel Bellinger, but I think they like Theo Johnson, and he's coming along now. We still have not seen Fedoni yet. I don't know how much you're willing to pay Daniel Bellinger. He might be a guy that's going along with Belton out of that 2022 class. Obviously, Evan Neal is done, but it is what it is. My man John said, please, Mike Kafka, fire Bowen now. Yeah, we got to figure that out. He should have the power to do it now. Classy TKO says Tate is the pick. I think Tate is like the perfect match or opposite of Malik Neighbors. Because if you have somebody like Tate, you can actually make Neighbors that puzzle piece and that mismatch. And I say it all the time, man. How Dallas plays CeeDee Lamb is exactly how you want to play Malik Neighbors. Inside, outside, you just find the mismatch and you expose it. If you have better receivers on the outside, and Tate is a fantastic outside receiver, then that frees up all the creativity in the world for Malik Neighbors. Everything. And for the people that watched him at LSU, the man put in work as a slot receiver. Most of his yards, the majority of his yards coming out of college were out of the slot position. And we just line him up on the outside and tell him, hey, do your thing on the outside. No. He's better than that. He's more diverse than that. Everything that you see, St. Brown from the Rams do, everything that he does, Malik Neighbors can do from the inside. Everything CeeDee Lamb does, everything Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all those guys do on the outside, Malik Neighbors can do all that, and now we're limiting players because our coaches are not creative enough to figure those things out. New York State of Mind say Groundhog's Day. That's a fact. Shout out to my man John Young, says Big Dash, what's good, brother? What's good, John Young? You know what? I'm not upset today. I'm not as mad as I've been the last couple of weeks with after a loss. Again, I didn't have high expectations going into this game. I was pleasantly surprised from what I got from the offense, and the defense did exactly what the defense has been doing, letting people down. I can't fly off of the handle when I've seen this movie so many times before. It is what it is. The third act, that's what it's called, Classy. Thank you very much. The third act. The third act was different. Ending was the same, though. I appreciate that. Thank you. Isaac Moore says Kafka's not any good. I disagree. I don't think he did anything today to increase his chances of being the next head coach, but I thought he did good today. I did think he did good today. Isaac also said Winston filled out his interception quota. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. They dropped 3 of them though. This could have been a 4 interception game for Jameis Winston. And if you would have got a 4, now, okay, just think about this, right? Just think about this. If this would have been a 4 interception game, and Jackson Dart was not trending the way that he's trending, like right now, Jackson Dart most likely plays against the Detroit Lions. If Jameis Winston has a 4 interception game and we don't score 20 points today and we still lose, they might be looking at Russell Wilson again. But luckily enough for us, Jackson Dart looks like he's progressing great, and he will be playing next week against the Lions, and I can't wait to see it. Mad Prick says that pack of Skittles for Wandell would have been a fun size. Y'all crazy, man. You ain't getting nothing for him, Luann. Said trade Neal and Hyatt together. You're not getting anything for him. Anything, not a thing. You're letting Neal walk. It's clear as day. So anybody that wants to pick up Neal and continue that experiment, they get to do it for free. They get to do it for free. Said gave us a chance. Who gave us a chance? Bookend. Offense gave the defense a chance, that's for sure. And the defense let the offense down again. New York Giants had the lead in the fourth quarter again and lost another fourth quarter lead. This one feels a little bit different, obviously, because how much time was still left on the clock. But they still had a fourth quarter lead. It is what it is. Okay, that's a fact. This Bookend says he agrees with Coach saying that I thought Kafka ran a balanced offensive game. Now, we ran the ball heavy today, but we were successful running the ball. And they did. I don't know how many attempts. If somebody has those numbers in front of them right now, how many attempts did Winston have throwing the ball today? I feel like we were more run than I don't know how balanced it was. I mean, 60-40 is pretty balanced. And I think that's probably what it was today, about 60-40 run the pass. Owner should put training wheels on Dart. Trade down is what Isaac says. Luann says, I'm rooting for the Lions, but after the Giants beat them, that's a fact. I would love to see a Lions-Bills Super Bowl. I would love to see that. Two teams that have never won the Super Bowl ending that streak. Butch Kid says, who's worse, Giants or Jets? I'm always going to say the Jets are worse than us. Even when the Jets are better than us, I'm going to say that they're worse than us. But I can honestly say that, yeah, they're worse than us. But we're 2-9. We're 2-9, man. It don't get too much worse than that. I see everything's starting to slow down a bit, man. There we go. 38 rushes, 29 passes. That's actually more passes than I thought. So we're going to go ahead and round up. We're going to use our public school education, round that up to 40 and 30, and just say we got a 60-40 split. Man, shout out to Union Township Public Schools in Union, New Jersey for these fantastic math skills that I possess. Ford says Jim Schwartz is our new DC. I wish. Hey, did the Browns win today? Somebody tell me the Browns. I don't got my phone. I just realized that. I can't look up anything right now. But I do need to take my son to work. BK's greatest says, at this point, I'm about to coach the defense. With somebody. You probably better than Bowen. I'll take anybody over Bowen right now. That's a fact. Shout out to Coach Ed. Coach Ed comes from a rival team. Says Budo's Union Farmers. Shout out to the Union Farmers. Union Fighting Farmers. Let's say it right. They win at 13-3. Okay. And we still ain't seen Shador yet. It's crazy. That's crazy. Hire who? Who's Pylon as our DC? Who's that? Pylon? Who's that? My Madden defense is better than Bowen's. I mean, everybody's Madden defense is better than Bowen. Bowen is trash, man. Let's be honest. I'm gonna close this thing out, man. I'm gonna close it with some of my closing thoughts, right? Obviously the game didn't end the way that we wanted to. The New York Giants in the fourth quarter again had a chance to win the game, and they didn't. They gave the defense a 1-point lead with 4 minutes left in the game, and the defense pretty much gave it up quick too. Lastly, people like he said, "Congrats, Miss Dash." Yeah, that's a fact. They won today too. Steelers won today, but at the end of the day, you still had a chance to try to tie this game and take it into overtime, and then you had a Winston to Hyatt. I can't even call it a miscommunication because Hyatt just gave up on this route. Winston had great anticipation on that throw. If Hyatt would have done what he was supposed to do, game ends in an interception, and now the storyline will be Jameis Winston throws an interception at the end of the game, and that's what people are going to run with. But the offense made me proud today. Offensive line made me super proud today, and the defense just solidified again for the 5th straight week that Shane Bowen should be fired. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Got to be gone. Got to be gone. Carter is suspended. What Carter are you talking about is suspended? What Carter are you talking about is suspended? Bookend Tackle says the offense is banged up and still giving us a chance. Defense, no excuses. That's a fact. That's a fact. We out here with the 3rd and 4th string wide receiver and a practice squad guy, and we're still able to put up 20 points with our backup quarterback, with our backup running backs. The defense, only starters you're missing is who? A Debo. That's the only starter you're really missing. Kayvon Thibodeau too, but I'm just saying. The offense is working with so much less than our defense, but our offense is still able to perform. For me, that's 100%. 100% Shane Bowen got to go. Nobody's going to be mad if you let Shane Bowen go. Nobody's going to say, well, you just fired Brian Dable. You shouldn't fire your D. No. Get Shane Bowen the hell out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. He can't do it when it's time to play. He can't do it when it's time to play. Shout out to JCNYC78 with the $5 super chat. Says, look up Strahan rookie year and tell me how many sacks he had. Please relax. It took a while for Strahan to get going. We know that. He was the 2nd round pick out of Texas Southern, right? 2nd round? Was Strahan the second rounder? Strahan might have been the 2nd. Texas Southern he came out of, right? But listen. Nobody is saying, and I just want to be clear. Nobody is saying that Abdul Carter is a bust. Nobody is saying that. It's the absolute opposite, because if we didn't believe in Abdul Carter, we wouldn't be disappointed in what we're getting right now. And that's it. Because you can't tell me, JCNYC78, that you did not expect more than what you got from Abdul Carter right now. You can't say that. You absolutely did. And then he says, Carter, don't even play full-time, bro. Calm down. Here's another question. Why isn't he playing full-time? Why didn't he beat out Kayvon Thibodeau? Like, we can have all the excuses in the world when it comes to Abdul Carter because we like him. Absolutely. But again, the question still remains the same. Did you expect more than what you got from Abdul Carter at this point? Because from what I know and what I've seen, when it comes to pressures, Abdul Carter's numbers are with everybody else when it comes to pressures. We're not even talking about just rookies. We're talking about the NFL. His pressure rate is right up there with everybody. But the fact still remains the same, that we did not get what we paid for yet. And if it take, and here's the other thing, nobody, just like nobody gave up on Michael Strahan, nobody is giving up on Abdul Carter. In fact, we're doing the opposite. We're doing the exact opposite. We're actually pushing for Abdul Carter to be better. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And guess what? At some point in time, and today was the day. Kayvon Thibodeau not playing. Today was a day for Abdul Carter to be out there and doing this thing. But I'm just saying, and we're going to end it on this. I'm just saying, you can't sit in here and tell me that he is who you thought he was right now, because I expected a lot more. Not saying that he's giving us nothing, but just saying that we thought as a whole, everybody thought we would have more than what we got from him right now. Also because he's not on the defensive line doing it by himself either. You got a guy named Brian Burns on the opposite side that's a sack leader. You got Dexter Lawrence who's getting double teamed all the time. So that should free up with you getting one-on-ones. And that was the one thing when it comes to Carter. One-on-ones, you thought it would be barbecue chicken for whoever's against him if you're playing one-on-one against him. He is not getting all those matches. But again, this is not a Abdul Carter hate thing, because I don't hate him at all. I actually like Abdul Carter, but I just expect more from him. And again, he's a rookie, right? He needs to get stronger. He needs to work on his hands. And he needs to also find what his secondary moves are going to be whenever that spin move don't work, or if he can't bend the edge and get around that tackle like he does so well. Just saying. I expect more from him because I believe he's better than what we've seen. And that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. But I'm going to close this thing out, man. I want to thank everybody for vibe. Actually, let me check the super chats, make sure I'm all caught up with the super chats, and I think I am. That's a fact. Everybody, again, thank you for joining. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, join the Big Blue Nation. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the day with some good football. We're all rooting for the Lions tonight against the Philadelphia Eagles. At least I know I am, for sure. And shedding blocks, coach. That's a fact. That's a fact. Again, we're not bashing him to be bashing. I'm just saying we expected more, and I think he is going to be better. He's just not quite there yet, and that's okay. That's okay. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.